Hello, ladies. Welcome in. I'm so happy to be with you today. It's been so long since we've done a live stream, so welcome. If you are new, my name is Alexis, and I'm so happy to have you here. We are talking about how to get back into your juicy creative flow today. If you have been feeling stuck or blocked from creating, if you have been procrastinating, if you have just been burnt out, or you feel I'm not living in my full potential, and I know that there's something that I want to be doing with my life force energy, but I'm not doing it. This is here to set you free. I'm so happy to have you and to talk about this inner work. I love talking about life force energy. I love talking about creativity. I think we are so lucky that we were born a woman that has so much life force flowing right here. And our only job is to give birth to it, whether it's actually a human or an idea. So, welcome in, ladies. Those of you who are live, hello. I'm so excited to check in the chat and talk with you in a little bit. Let's get straight into it. So first order of business, first inner work that we're going to be doing is becoming so crystal clear on what it is that we desire to create. So I want you to ask yourself right now, if there were no rules to the world, if you had no one in your ear telling you what to do, if social media did not exist, what would you be doing with your life? What would you be creating? What would your passion and your purpose be? What would you be pursuing? And just take a minute to get clear on what that is. And if your passion is something on social media, just ignore the no social media rule that I said. All right, so now that you have that clear idea of what it is that you would be doing if there were no restrictions and no rules, let's get to the inner work. I had this realization about 2 months ago where I was doing something and I actively caught myself sabotaging and realized, whoa, this is why I've been blocked so creatively. So my creative journey has been up and down. I feel its peak was maybe when I first started the Feminine Glow, which was, oh my gosh, was it almost 3 years ago? I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And that's when I felt I was so alive. I was so excited starting the business. I had quit my job as a hostess in a restaurant. I was coaching clients. I was teaching about feminine energy on TikTok and on YouTube. And I just felt, is this life real? I'm so happy. This is my dream. And I just woke up every morning so fulfilled. Well, about 1.5 years into running my business, my creative energy started to slow down. And it scared me because I thought, what is happening? How come I can't create at the pace and the passion and the freedom that I used to? And my rubber band had stretched so much. If you don't know what I'm talking about with a rubber band, please go watch last week's video or just type awwlexis rubber band. My rubber band had stretched so much, and what had happened is I was burnt out but didn't realize it because I had gone too quick. And so many blocks had come up as a result of things that I was absorbing as I was growing to different levels in my own inner work. So reflecting back on that, now I see why I had so many blocks. In this video, I want to share the inner work that helped me to release them. And so this first point, it's going to be treat your creation as a business. What I was saying 2 months ago when I had this realization and I caught myself sabotaging, what I did is I had booked a nail appointment for a random Wednesday afternoon. And I usually do my appointments Wednesday or Friday. And this specific afternoon, I realized, Alexis, we are sabotaging right now. When did we go from treating our business as a 9 to 5 almost, as treating it as something so serious that we spend Monday through Friday giving our full selves to? When did we go from this to booking a nail appointment on a Wednesday when that time used to be dedicated to creation? And then I started reflecting back on where the block had come in. When I had all this passion and this excitement, let's say from 2022 to like 2023, 2024, it just felt I woke up and I could not wait to get to TikTok. And then it switched and I dreaded going and posting on TikTok. And I slowed down so much there. And then I realized I had taken time that I used to dedicate to my business. I had opened doors to the outside world and outside noise and personal use time that should have gone to my business, my baby. I stopped treating my creation as a business. When I first started the Feminine Glow, my boundaries were rock solid. I was living at home at this time. I had my whole family there. It was very fun, but also very loud at times. And I remember I went from being someone who would people please all the time, and I was really accommodating, where I would start to close my bedroom door and say no to my family and tell them I'm working on my business right now, even before my business was actually a business. When I was just in my bedroom creating TikTok videos during COVID time, I was so crystal clear with my boundaries to my family. Please do not knock. Please do not call me. I'm working on my business. They were like, what business? You're making TikTok videos. But to me, I treated it as a business. And that allowed me to have such good self-boundaries with my discipline, with how I spent my time. And that time allowed my life force to go and actually create something that became so much more successful later on. So where have you if you are a business owner and you feel blocks have come up, where have you let boundaries slide? Where did you used to be so crystal clear on dedicating your life force energy and your time to your creation, to your purpose, that now maybe you've slacked off? This is going to be tough love that I've given to myself, is I had to say, you've stopped taking your business seriously. And of course I never stopped actually taking it seriously, but the time that I would dedicate, and it was so necessary for me to even use my time the way that I did for something like a nail appointment, because my dream was to have freedom of time, to not work on a Wednesday if I didn't want to. And that is very good for me. However, I had done that too much, where a friend would ask me to go to brunch Thursday and I would say yes. And then Friday would come and there would be a movie coming out and I was like, yeah, of course we'll go. It wasn't just the nail appointment, it was saying yes and saying yes and saying yes all those times, saying no to my business. Once in a while, it's okay. Now, like yesterday was Thursday, I had to take my dog to the vet and I used my working hours to go and take him instead. That is healthy, but I became so imbalanced in how much of my life force I was giving back to my personal time. And it made me feel so low. Because when I went from giving my life force to my students and my clients, I was so filled up. Like I would finish coaching sessions, I would finish teaching in my courses and just I feel so alive, anything is possible. And then when I was just giving that time to myself instead, less of my business, I felt so low, like something was missing. And so if you are a business owner already, this one is especially for you. If you are not, or not even a business owner, but you haven't created physically what you're dreaming mentally, if you have not done that yet, get such crystal clear boundaries and treat your creation as a business. Even if you want to learn how to bake or you want to learn how to figure skate, from now on, you treat that as a job. You would have a manager that is watching the clock and saying you didn't clock in today. You would have someone checking maybe your cake that you made and said, is this your best work? Do you think that you could do better? Or maybe here's how we can fix this. I do think our society has become too comfortable and too easy on ourselves. I think we've gentle parented ourselves too much. And I'm not saying don't be gentle with yourself, but I'm also saying be tough on yourself when it's necessary. Just think, if you had no discipline, you would never go to the gym, you would never eat right. Like I always say, feminine energy is the inside of an egg. Your masculine energy is the shell that supports you. And so if you have no shell, if you have no discipline, if you have no tough love, if you have no boundaries, your feminine energy is a blob on the ground. And then we wonder, why are we blocked from creating? We don't have any support. We don't have any drive. And so this is point number 1. Begin treating your passion and your business as an actual business. And another note here is nobody is going to come and give you permission. This was something I woke up to in about 2022. I kept saying, I don't want to be at this job anymore and I just want to start my business. And I realized no one's coming to save me. The Disney movies lied. You have to tell yourself, I am going to pick myself up. I'm going to decide that this gets to be my life and I'm going to make it happen. God, please guide me on the direction. Please give me the tools. Please let it be known how to do this. But no one is coming to save you. Don't trust Disney. Okay. What else here? Yes, so the balance, let's say for my business owner students who you have created financial freedom and freedom of time, a lot of my students in Divine and Aligned, I know that you're at this point. What I want you to do is analyze your current schedule. Maybe you're only working 2 to 3 hours a day and ask, does this feel good to me? Is there a place where I could be doing more? Do I have the capacity to take on a new project? If you've been stagnant for a while, meaning you've been doing the same thing, same projects, maybe your course is done, maybe you have the same routine with YouTube, I want you to ask, is there something new, possibly something that I fear doing that I'm not doing right now, that I could give more of my life force energy to? For me, I asked myself this question and the answer was so clear, and it was so clear that you ladies confirmed it by asking me to do this again and again. And it's been my project all of 2025. I was so scared to do it. And beginning of this year, I said, I'm just gonna go for it. And I cannot wait to tell you what it is. I know I keep talking about it. I promise I'm going to share more once it's finished. It's almost December and it's almost going to be finished. So I cannot wait to share more of that with you soon. But that for me took my workload from 2 to 3 hours a day to 4 to 6 hours a day. That's how much I work now, like actually work. And so it feels good for me. It feels good to work more. I got too complacent working 2 to 3 hours a day. I got bored. And so sometimes those seasons are good. When I first had a very light workload, it was so good for me. But then I had a craving to do more. I knew that there was more potential. And I love how Freud, he talks about, I think it's the libido, how he defines the libido, which is your sexual energy. Your libido, your life force is energetic potential. That's how Freud describes it. And I love these words, energetic potential, because it's true. What your life force can create has the potential to create. It just requires your energy to do it. So when your life force is off, when you are not following the desires of your heart, when you're not feeding your body in a healthy way, when you're stuck in situations that don't honor and serve you, your life force is going to be trapped. Once you start to open it up and lead with, this is why I love feminine energy, because it's your life force charging your life. Once you lead from that, it's going to guide you on what to create. All right, let's see. Yep. Okay, so here's the journal prompt. What are the new boundaries I need to set with myself? And what are the new boundaries I need to set with others? Maybe it's going to be a conversation with your partner where you tell him, look, I really have this desire, and I know that we have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night that's saved for our Netflix movie night and cooking. One of those nights, I need to start dedicating to my business. My heart is exploding with this passion to take this seriously. So I want to let you know that I'll be making these adjustments. And if you don't have people that support you, that does not mean you cannot follow through with your desire and with your passion. Again, you're not looking for a yes or a no permission from other people. You being so fully connected to your desire, this is what I'm going to do. The people in your life should support that, and if they don't, that's okay. They're allowed to not agree with it, and you are allowed to move forward with your decision. Maybe I think the hardest thing for me was telling my family no. I would just feel so sad because we had our Netflix movie nights and we had our cooking nights, and I wasn't saying no every night, but it wasn't Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday that I was eating dinner and then watching show after show of The Office. It was, okay, maybe Friday and Saturday night I'll spend with you guys, but Sunday and Monday night I need to go to my room, I need to close my door, and I need to focus on my business. And when I say I was treating it as a business, it wasn't that I was on my laptop setting up the LLC. That was just a part of it. I meant that I was reading books. I was watching other content creators. I was listening to podcasts where guests were on there talking about how they built their business. So I was swimming in this energy of creating a business. That's what I meant by I need to go and work on my business. All right. And another note is, don't follow your mood. Follow the plan that your best self sets. So, of course, we love feminine energy here, and there's times when I need to listen to my body. I need to rest more. For example, I'm in my luteal phase, so I need more sleep. I don't need to wake up at 6 and go to the gym. So I listen to what my body needs, because the best version of myself, when I sit down from that mode and I plan out, what does a month look like for me according to my sleep and my workout schedules? What it looks like for me if I'm in the best energy and I'm feeling confident and healthy. It's when I'm in my follicular and my ovulatory phase, the week after my period and the week after that. I'm getting up early, I'm not snoozing the alarm, I'm going to the gym first thing in the morning, 5 days a week. When I'm in my luteal and menstrual phase, that switches. I set my alarm for later. It's okay if I hit snooze only in the luteal phase. And I decide that morning, do I feel like going to the gym? If it's a yes, I go. If it's a no, I don't. So that's what I mean. Don't follow your mood, follow the plan that your best self sets. Because if I follow my mood, I would just sleep in and hang out with my dog every morning. So when you're in your best mode, meaning your energy is highest, you've been feeling good, you've been taking care of your body, have her journal and plan out what your best life looks like. All right, so that's number one. Let me check the chat real quick and then we'll move to number two. This is exactly the live I need right now. Ah, Hannah, I'm so happy. Hello, Rose in Kenya. Good morning, girl. Yes. Yep. God gave me this amazing business opportunity with these amazing people, and that got my spark back for life and dreaming bigger. I love it. I don't want to lose this spark. What would you recommend I do? This inner work is going to be perfect for you then. I would say don't worry about losing the spark, because what if you never do? But you spend all this time worrying. As soon as you start to worry, what if this happens? Your body physically starts creating that experience. Your chest will get tight, your heart might start beating faster. And so I say, let the worrying go. God did not put us here to worry. He says, give your worries and your anxieties to me. That is my burden to carry, not yours. And so if that point ever comes, come back to this video. Give yourself a recharge. And also too, I love what you said, how I have this amazing business opportunity with amazing people and got my spark back for life and dreaming bigger. That's it. That's why I'm so passionate about helping people start their dream business, because when you're working, first of all, in your dream hours, your dream work outfit, your dream schedule, and your dream people, it does something where it gives you this excitement for your life, and it feels like, is this a movie? And I want every woman to experience that. Sometimes it's not in a business. Sometimes it's in a job. Maybe it's a dream job. Maybe it's not even working at all. Maybe it's being a wife, being a mother. Maybe it's just traveling the world. So you will know if you are following your life purpose because your soul feels alive. Yeah. Yes, I know. I haven't been live in so long. I took a month off while I was traveling, and the first travel vlog is coming next week. I'm so excited to share it with you. It's going to be a vlog when I was in Rome, and it was my first time in Italy, and it was breathtaking. I want to go back to Rome so much. It was so beautiful and just such a great creative reset. I think I was really burnt out these last 4 months, and I just didn't realize it. So I took some time off, and it was really needed. But I also missed YouTube. I learned for myself, I think anything longer than a week and a half for vacation, at least this point in my life, it feels too long for me, because yes, I loved traveling and being away, but I also miss creating. And it took maybe about 7 days for me to rest and play and get that creative spark back. And then I was sitting in Europe and I was thinking, I wish that I could just sit down and live stream and get back to work, because my heart really wants to create again. So sometimes it just takes a week-long break, and it was really needed. But I'm excited to share the vlog with you. Oh my gosh, girl, it's 3 a.m. here. Good morning or good night. I don't know which one to say. I love that you're here. Yes. Love. Yes, I'm in that same season. I'm working so much more than before, but once it's all built out, the workload will reduce again. Yes, that's my girl, and I'm so excited for you. And I think that's something that we need to talk about even more, is the seasons of business, because it truly does change all the time. And we need the change. I used to only want the light workload and more playing than working. But then when I had that, I realized, no, this actually doesn't feel good for me. But then the other side of that, constantly working and always using that life force energy, it does burn us out a lot. So definitely balance is needed. Speaking of seasons, I know it's peak October. I know it's fall. This is definitely a spring dress, but with clothing, I just feel when I was still living in Las Vegas, I told my family, I need to move somewhere where the only season is summer because that's what I like to wear. And now living in Dubai, it's like 90 degrees right now and it's perfect. So I think my wardrobe doesn't match the seasons, speaking of the seasons, but summer is my favorite. Oh, sometimes we need to stay up until 2 a.m. to catch Alexis live. Jess, I was just thinking about you today. Oh my gosh. I was coaching a woman that worked in the same city that you live, and I thought, no way. I wonder how Jazz is. I appreciate you ladies. I know it's so early or so late for some of you, and I plan to go back to the US in December, and when I'm live streaming, it'll be back to US time. So hopefully that'll help. We miss your mom. Sarah, I miss her too. That's gonna make her day if she hears it. Okay, let's get to number 2. We're talking about the burnout. This is a perfect transition. Are you secretly burnt out? So like I was saying, when I took this trip to Europe a couple weeks ago, I was so burnt out, but I didn't know it until I was there. And how I knew that I was burnt out is because as soon as I started resting and playing and not working, all of my creativity came back. I would sit at cafes in Italy and I would just be typing ideas for YouTube. And I would think, why does this always happen when I'm not in a place to work? And I realized I had been so burnt out, so on overdrive for too long, and I needed a reset. Okay, so here's how you're gonna tell if you are secretly burnt out. Because as women, our pain tolerance, it is so strong. And I think a lot of us are working overtime and our body has signaled to us, hey, this is too much, but we push it down and push it down because we wanna be strong and we wanna be resilient. And if we stop listening to those whispers that our body gave us of this is too much, our body's going to stop speaking to us. It's going to go silent and then it's going to erupt in a way that we don't want. So how you know if you're secretly burnt out? Your body dial of how the speed is that you move at, it will either be too slow or it will be too fast. If you're in Master Your Feminine Energy, you've heard me talk about this. We have an imaginary dial that sits right here, and depending on how the state is of our nervous system, that dial will either speed up, so we're moving super, super quick, or it will slow down. And how this will show up physically, let's use the example you've slowed down. This will look like you are procrastinating. It will look like you sit and doom scroll all day. It will look like canceling plans or saying no, immediately shutting down ideas and desires that you get. So that's if your dial is too slow. That's because your nervous system has gone into either a freeze or a fawn state, where you're so overwhelmed and so burnt out that your body just shuts down. You cannot create when your body is shut down, because if your life force feels that your body is not healthy, that it's not able to go out and hunt for food, it's not able to protect itself if danger were to come. If your life force feels that that is happening, it will go, okay, all this creative energy, all of this energy that we could use to make a business or make another human life, let's go ahead and stuff this down because it's non-essential when we need to be able to fight, when we need to be able to survive. So switching into that survival mode tells your life force energy, stay down here, we don't need you. Until we're safe, don't give us any ideas. And so now we wonder, why are we so blocked creatively? But we're secretly in survival mode and we don't know it. So we talked about the dial slowing down. Another way you can tell is if your dial has sped up, if you are moving very fast. If you are watching this YouTube video at anything other than 1x speed or below, I'm talking to you specifically. I used to be one of those people who whenever I would put on a YouTube video or a podcast, the first thing I would do is change the speed. It was either 1.5, and I hate to admit this, but when I was really, really, really in survival mode, it was 2x. Now, if I were to listen to a video at 2x, I couldn't do it. I would get a headache. I would think, how could I even absorb this information? But it's because now I've learned how to heal my nervous system. And so when you are in this super fast mode, you will be eating really fast, talking really fast, listening to content really fast, messing up on a lot of things because you're trying to do too much. And also everything is a struggle. Everything becomes a burden. For my nail appointment, a bird definitely just ran into my deck. I hope he's okay. He heard me talking bad about the Disney movies. Okay, for example, my nail appointment, even this I don't like to admit, but I started seeing my nail appointment as a chore. And I would dread going. I would have to schedule it in my calendar and be like, oh, this is another chore that I have to do this week. And I just had to snap out of it and say, wait a second, Alexis, 3 years ago, you could not afford to get your nails done. I used to put on press-on nails and just pray, please God, one day, give me the ability to not have to do this, because it's painful to take them off. I can see the glue everywhere. It was just a mess. And I had to remind myself, I used to pray that I could even have money to get my nails done. Now that God has blessed me with this financial abundance to go and do something that's a dream to me, I've started taking it for granted and I've turned it into a chore. My nervous system being so dysregulated and making me move too fast turned everything into a chore. Even this is also bad, but date nights became a chore. Going on a date, the idea of, have to do this. I snapped out of that really quick and said, nope, this is not going to be what my love life looks like. I want to be a woman that's flowing in feminine energy in every area. So your nervous system is very quick to shut down the feminine energy because it wants you to survive, not just thrive. It thinks the thriving can come later. So when you're moving very fast, you've moved into the fight mode, everything is a struggle. So I want you to scan your body now. Do you feel that you have been moving too slow, procrastinating, anxious, doom scrolling, or too fast? Always doing a to-do list, everything is a chore, eating quick. It's like you can't fully process something. Even with your partner, when you kiss, can you fully experience that kiss without moving to the head? Okay, let me check in here. Yes. Jazz, I miss you too, girl. Yep. How can I stop spending too much time scrolling and stop delaying the things I need to do for tomorrow? This is exactly it. Number one, it's becoming aware of if you are doing that, because when you can become aware, then you can start to soothe your body, and we'll move into the soothing part next. Yes. Okay, I'm seeing a question about blocks and finances. I'm gonna recommend the Gold Vault course to you, and before the Gold Vault, I would watch my money training videos on YouTube. I have one called, I don't remember the name, but if you type awwlexis, business and money inner work, I would recommend starting with those videos first and then taking a look at the Gold Vault. That whole program is my money inner work and quantum physics. Okay, let's move into how to soothe your nervous system, how to get back to a regulated state so that you can create. Like I said yesterday, I had to take my dog to the vet. I'm looking at him right now. If you can see his position on the couch. So I had to take Gus to the vet, and it's such a far journey. It was like 40 minutes to get there, and honestly, I was a little frustrated with the traffic, and then we spent way longer at the vet than I planned, and we left the vet at maybe 5 p.m. I had planned to leave closer to like 4:15. On that side of Dubai, to get back to where I live, I knew the traffic is gonna be insane. And also, I have this goal where I'm trying to finish my work every day by 6:30 p.m. at the latest. And so I'm looking at the clock, I'm looking at the traffic, and I'm thinking, I still have an hour of work to do. I need to go and review my Rome vlog that my video editor finished. How am I gonna do this and get back in time? So I notice in that moment, I catch myself moving from the body to the head, starting to think about every solution. What I do to soothe myself is I breathe, I release the tension that's in my body. Usually it's up here, and I go, okay, this is the reality right now. Let me just do what I can, which is drive home. Then I ask, how can I make this drive more soothing? I played a podcast. I'm listening to this wonderful podcast that my assistant Annie sent me. It's from Andrew Huberman. I don't usually listen to Andrew Huberman, but this episode was really good. So I put that on and I'm just petting Gus and I'm looking at the traffic and I'm thinking, you know what? I used to pray to even live in this city, and this is happening. And there's times when I want to drive fast or hurry up and get in the left lane so I can just go. But then I look around at the cars and I think, isn't everybody trying to get home? Sometimes I actually look at the people in their cars and I think, I wonder if they're just trying to get home to their wife, or I wonder what kind of day at work they've had. This is actually how I soothe myself, is I start to take myself out of my head and I start to just feel more empathy for the world around me. That takes the focus off me and it puts it on the world. And that is how I soothe my nervous system. Because actually what I'm realizing is going on is when I'm so panicked and stress, traffic, workload, I still want to relax tonight and talk to my friends. When I start going into that, the focus is all about me. And when it's all about me, that doesn't feel good because I get too overwhelmed. So I take it off me. I'm a way more patient driver when I switch to that mode. And I just start soothing myself by realizing, yeah, I'm probably going to be here for 45 minutes to an hour, but oh well, is that going to kill me? Why do I feel like this is the worst thing in the world, to be sitting in traffic? My sister lives in LA. She probably has it 2 times worse than me. So that's what I mean when I say soothe your nervous system in the moment. Pinpoint where you get triggered. Start to talk to yourself, how can you make the situation better? And then take yourself out of your head and realize that you're probably living in an answered prayer. You're probably living someone else's dream life. And another note here is I stopped stressing my brain out. This is how I fixed my dial, because for me, my dial was moving too fast. But then I really have a lot of projects that I'm doing this year that has caused me overwhelm also. That then caused my dial to move too slow. It's like I didn't want to do anything. It would be such a struggle to sit down and start my work for the day. Well, how I got out of that is I stopped stressing my brain out. One way that I would stress my brain out, and I've talked about this in a previous video, I forget which one, is I stopped switching tabs so quick. There was an interesting study that I was looking at where it studied how people's brain reactions were when they open up their email. And what the researchers thought initially was that seeing all the emails is what would cause the overwhelm and the overdrive in the brain. But that was not it. What caused stress to the brain was when people would switch, when they would open one email, and maybe that email said, okay, click this link, click here, there's a payment, but to complete this payment, you need to upload your ID or your passport. And then they would go to another email and remember, wait, I forgot to send that draft yesterday. Let me go and send that. It's the constant switching from tab to tab that actually caused more stress in the brain than looking at the email, even if the email was a stressful message from a boss. And so that forever planted a seed in me to say I need to stop switching tasks so much. Why we are all in this mode of switching so much is because of scrolling. The craziest thing happened, and there's so many things that we do that we don't even notice until we slow down. This was one of them for me. I was on TikTok and there was this video, and the video, it was very emotional. It was about some things in the world that are going on, and I was just crying and I was thinking, oh, I can't believe that this is happening, and just feeling so overwhelmed with emotion. And I kind of sat there for a second, and then the next video, it was something completely different. It was like a content creator that I follow celebrating a huge milestone, and then I got so happy for her. Then the next video, something stressful going on in the news, and I caught myself, I realized, whoa, I don't think that's normal for our brain to go from an extreme low to an extreme high within the span of 2 minutes. And then I started reflecting on my scrolling all in my life, and I realized that's why my brain is so stressed. It's the high, low, high, low. And I'm sure for most people this is common sense, but for me, I couldn't see it until I actually slowed down. And so now when I'm on TikTok, because I will still scroll, this is not a message to say no more TikTok. I would never. But now when I'm on TikTok, if I see a sad video, instead of scrolling, I will close my phone, sit with the emotion, maybe go and get a cup of water, and then continue. Anytime extreme emotions, I feel it in my body. And also, I think it's dangerous teaching our body to push down emotions so quick, because where did the sadness and the grief go as soon as I saw the happy video? It pops up later in the form of stress, and then we wonder why we can't slow down and get regulated again. Okay, so an example of this, sometimes when I'm very stressed out in traffic, I will switch between music, then a podcast. I don't like that episode, let me listen to this episode. It's not that I didn't like the music or the podcast, it's that I was so dysregulated that I was looking for something to cause more stress to my brain just to stimulate me. So yesterday when I'm driving home from the vet, the podcast episode that I put on, it's not the most uplifting, let's say. It's to me, I think why I've struggled with those types of podcasts in the past is because it's very heavily science-based. Like the episode just feels very, very heavy to me. But I really, really like those episodes when I'm in a calm state. Sometimes I like more of the lighthearted, like Jay Shetty. And so yesterday, the episode that I put on, I kept it the whole way. I was so tempted when I was stuck in traffic, oh, let me just open up Instagram, let me see who texted me, but I caught myself and I was very disciplined. Having self-boundaries is going to be your strength in order to overcome creation blocks. My self-boundaries yesterday were so strong to say, I'm listening to this episode, I'm gonna drive home in peace, and now my mind wasn't switching between different topics, and I was able to be regulated. I walked in and I actually have this huge box. It's sitting literally right there. I just tucked it behind the hall. I ordered this mattress topper for my bed, and this box, I get home with Gus. I'm carrying his bed from the car in one hand, him in the other hand, my purse. And I get to the front door and I see this huge box, and I'm like, oh, this is the last thing that I need. And then I caught myself and I realized, why would this stress me out? And I opened my door, I pushed the box in, I think I'll open this later before I go to bed, set my stuff down, and I'm thinking, I'm feeling a little too calm for comfort. All that stress and Gus's vet appointment, shouldn't I feel more overwhelmed right now? Usually my two bad habits are to either over scroll or over snack. Because for me, if I can find something quick and comforting, then I can feel better. I didn't want to do either of those yesterday. I put Gus down, gave him some food and water, sat on the couch, and watched the Rome vlog that my video editor finished. And by 7 p.m., 7:15, I thought, this is so nice. This is how I want to feel all the time. So that's my current inner work. It's making this my norm to not be in a stressed out, dysregulated state, but to feel at peace. And it's so much easier than we think. The hardest part is just that first self-boundary. Other ways that you can stop stressing your brain out is, this is personally what I do, no scrolling till my work is done. I have 2 major work blocks that I do during the day, and I don't scroll on social media until my first work block is done. Second one that I do is tension checks. So maybe 3 times a day, I'll scan my body and ask, where am I holding tension? And usually for me, like I said, it's right here, but sometimes it's in my hips, sometimes it's in my feet, it's the strangest places. And in those moments, I just relax and loosen up my body. Maybe I'll dance, maybe I'll shake. These help to regulate that dial again. And also remembering, I prayed for this life. I want this stress. Yesterday thinking, I don't like doing vet appointments, things like this. I don't like Gus having needles in him, things like that. And so that does stress me out. But I'm also soothing myself by saying, I've prayed to have a dog like him. He's better than any dog I could ever imagine. If you see my Instagram stories, he's just adorable. He has his own story highlight. And so I was thinking, you know what? I don't like doing vet appointments. I don't like driving an hour across town, but I prayed for this and I actually want this stress because the alternative is I don't have a dog at all. The alternative is I don't have my dream business. The alternative is I don't get to have my dream body. So I like the stress of being disciplined and honoring my passion and my purpose. And last one is no filing things as to-do laters. I will either write them down now or do it immediately. This causes so much stress to the brain. A perfect example of this, my tripod is broke. It only works to hold my phone, but not my camera. And I didn't find out till right before I was gonna do this live stream. Well, I sat down and I started setting up for YouTube and I thought, okay, I'll just order the podcast later. But then I thought, no, I don't want another file to do later. How about I just do it now? So I got on Amazon. It actually took like 1 minute, ordered a new tripod, and that was that. I have to book a flight coming up, and rather than keeping that in my mental storage, because that's a huge storage expense of booking a flight for me. Not monetary expense, but storage expense, meaning it's taking up so much mental capacity, so much life force energy. And so instead of keeping that here, I put it in my agenda as something to do this week. And so that's how you can also find ways to no longer stress out your brain. Okay, let me check in with the chat. Then we're gonna move to the third. Okay, we've got 2 more and then a bonus one. So that one was, are you secretly burnt out and how to soothe? I'm gonna spit out my tea. Don't be telling Gus's business. I miss you ladies so much. Gus, come here. So he has this problem where he only, hopefully I don't get banned for saying this, he only has 1 testicle that has come in and he's supposed to have 2. Come here. Okay. I'm gonna lie to him right now, but I promise I'm actually gonna fulfill this promise later. Peanut butter? Peanut butter? Come here. He's still not coming. He's usually sleeping at this time. Come here. So he's gonna have to have surgery. That's why I was kind of stressed out at the vet. Come here. Come here. I want him to say hi to you guys, but he's so sleepy right now. Was it a long day for you yesterday, bud? Come here. Okay, let me just grab him. Come here, Bubba. Hi. Oh, are you tired? Do you want to say hi to the girls? Oh my gosh, he's such a fluff ball. I just ordered, I'll show you guys what I just ordered for him on Amazon. So since I'm gonna go see my family for Christmas, I got one for Gus, and then I also got one for my family dog. There's these cute outfits. Let me find a picture. It's this little like Santa Claus outfit. My excuse was it's gonna keep him warm at night. He needs it. Say hi to the girls, guys. Oh, he was such a good dog at the vet yesterday. I was so proud of him. Hi, bud. Yes, having boundaries to prevent creation blocks. Jensen, all my girls are here today. How are you, girl? Yep. Okay, let's move to the third one. Gus is just gonna be hanging out here. Okay, this one is my favorite. So, block number 3 that blocks creative energy. Trying to perform rather than create. Where this became so crystal clear for me was when I was going to go and post an Instagram story. Nothing, like it expires in 24 hours, right? And I thought to myself, but I already posted a lot today. Maybe I should save this for tomorrow. And then I realized, is this how stories are meant to be designed? Is this how social media is meant to be designed? Because if I'm thinking about this post and then telling myself, no, it doesn't match my posting aesthetic, or it doesn't match my timing, and I'm pushing down my creative energy that wants to post, and it was a picture of this candle that I posted yesterday. If I'm pushing that down, what else am I pushing down? And putting rules on creating and playing. And so how we're going to do this inner work is we're going to talk about actors for a second. And what I think about actors, I talk about actors in a lot of my courses too, because they've mastered so many skills that we don't see. When I was living in Los Angeles, I really wanted to pursue modeling. And so at some of the castings and open calls, there were also a lot of actors there. And I just learned so much from them. I thought that majority of their studies were studying acting and theater, stuff like that. But no, they were studying psychology. And so I'm going to talk about this more in the project that I have that's coming out, hopefully in 2026. But anyways, why I bring up actors is because the best artists know how to create. They do not perform. An example of this, think about your favorite actor. Why do you like them so much? It's because most likely when they are playing a role, they take themselves completely out of it and they absorb the identity of that character. Zendaya, excellent at doing this. There's another actor, Christine Froseth, I think that's how you say her name. She's the girl who plays Nan in The Buccaneers. Excellent, excellent actress. I haven't even finished The Buccaneers, but I want to, just because this actress, she's so, like, she pulls you into the movie and makes it so believable. Her emotions, her expressions, everything. And the best artists, they are not performing. You can tell when like there's so many memes on TikTok where people are saying, I don't like this because you can tell that this actor is acting. I think that's why a lot of people don't like Hallmark movies. You can tell that they're acting in the movies. Better than me though. That's all that I'll say. They're way better. But when you can tell that someone is acting, it signals to our brain inauthentic, and our brain does not like anything that's inauthentic. It's also why we are all a little bit scared deep down of AI, because anything artificial, our body resists, our body doesn't like. Even things like plastic surgery, I've heard of women who get boob jobs and their body pushes out the plastic, their body rejects it so much. And it's because our body doesn't like things that are artificial. There's ways to use things that are artificial for good, of course, and that are helpful. However, balance is always needed. And so with actors that are exceptional at their craft, they are not performing because they're not on a stage. They have jumped into the movie, they have jumped into the body, into the soul of that character, and that character has become them. An extreme example is, I don't know the actor's name, but he's the one who played the Joker. But he became the Joker so much to the extent that he went mentally insane. And sadly, I believe it ended his life. You as a creator, you are an artist. This is your craft. Whatever I asked you to think of in the beginning that you want to create, that's what I'm referencing right now. Have you fully jumped into that identity to be that woman that is creating? Before starting my business, you know what I did before becoming a coach? Every day I would wake up, I would put on an outfit that made me feel so good, as if I was actually a coach, what I would be wearing. I did my makeup, I did my hair, I would spend time that I knew I wanted to be doing my business, reading books, growing my mind. That was me absorbing the identity that I wanted to become. I wasn't performing. I was truly being, even before it came. Same thing for you. This is why number one is so important. Do you treat your art as if it is your job, as if it is your life mission, as if there are people lining up for your gallery, waiting for the release of you to share your creation? Or are you performing? Are you living by the rules that your parents have taught you? Are you not posting because you're scared what the people from high school will think about you? Are you keeping your current identity to please the identities of people that actually don't exist because they're in the past? I'm so guilty of this too. When I was on TikTok, I was so scared. What if people, because I was 21, I believe, when I started posting on TikTok. What if people from my past start seeing this and they think I'm weird? Well, I was remembering a 19, 20-year-old version of them that didn't even exist anymore. Are you performing in a way that is keeping you scared and limited in what you say? This is huge inner work that I do in the glow print with my content creators and my women who want to be coaches. There's oftentimes a block here, and it's stopping you from creating the best content that you will ever make because we're still performing, we're still pleasing. Is the good girl mask still on? Keeping you showing up in a way that can keep your identity as I'm nice. I can stay safe and protected because everyone still thinks that I'm nice. So where are you performing versus where are you fully being and creating? And always remember actors, what separates the ones that are exceptional versus the ones where you can tell that they are acting. It's performance. You're not on a stage. That's the problem in the block for a lot of us, is we picture ourselves being on a stage. What are they gonna say? They're gonna point at me and laugh at me. Okay. Would you rather be them or you? And a lot of us, we're on a stage, we think the whole world is lining up. This is very humbling for me. We think the whole world is lining up for a ticket to come to our show. Meanwhile, they're going, no, I have my own show. I want to be on that stage instead. People don't care about us as much as we think they do. Another block that I see in my business students is they try to create from a future self. And this causes a block from even starting. And what I mean by that is, here's the number one excuse that I always hear. Well, what if I'm not qualified in this area yet? Okay, but aren't you qualified in this area? You're telling me that your 20, 30, 40 plus years of experience with this is not enough because in the next 10 years, you'll learn something that will qualify you even better. What about all those people who are still at these stages that you've already mastered and overcome? Why don't you start from there? A reminder is you don't have to know it all. You can mess it up and still be exceptional, still be amazing. You don't have to know it all. Your future self that we think, oh, she's gonna know how to create better. She's gonna be the one that runs the dream business. Your future self is going, I need you to make the first step. You're hoping that I will come out, but I need you to rub the lamp. I need you to give me permission to come out by taking the first step. I can't even come alive until you give me the permission by saying today is the day. I really love that quote. Day one, not one day. Because we say one day, one day, one day. It's October. It's almost 2026 now. What if you flipped it and said day one? Another note today, or another note for this is, what could you create today? Because you can create something. And here's the secret. What you create today, what you create next, that is going to unlock your best creation. And sometimes we don't know our best creation because we haven't taken that first step. For example, for me, now I've realized my purpose, at least in this point in my life, it's to teach women how to create their dream business, how to create their dream life, and use their feminine energy to do it. However, when I started off, my desire was, I just want to teach about feminine energy. I want to help women heal their old wounds, do inner work, feel confident and sexy, get in their dream relationships. Well, when I started that, of course I didn't feel, yeah, this is perfect. This is what I want to do forever. This is everything that I need to know forever. I just thought, this is what I know right now and I'm going to teach it. Well, months into teaching about feminine energy, that's when some of the glow girls started asking, can you teach about business? I did not want to teach about business when I first started. To me, I thought, that's boring. Who would do that? Now that's what I love teaching. It brings me so much more life. And so I would never have known that my dream is actually to teach women how to be financially free and unlock the feminine energy that comes with that and just create from a place that feels so good and so alive. I would have never known if I didn't take the first step to make TikTok videos about how dressing better makes you feel better. That was my first TikTok video that ever went viral. It was a video of my mom in a grocery store, and my mom, she dresses so cute. She was wearing this dress, and we were in Sprouts, and I thought, I'm just gonna take a video of her. And I added text to the screen that says, when you're about to wear sweatpants out of the house, but then remember that your mom taught you how you look determines how you feel, which determines how you show up in life. And I posted that video on TikTok. It got 800,000 views in about the first day, and it just kept growing and growing. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe I should talk about the things that I've learned about being a woman and about feminine energy and how you can feel your best. And TikTok grew to about 100,000 followers in 6 months. It happened so quick. And if I had looked at that video and said, oh, who's gonna care about this? Or it's just of my mom, like, no big deal. But that's exactly the first step that unlocked this, and doing retreats and all of the courses. And so your first step, your next step will unlock the dream step. And where a lot of us are blocked is we're trying to unlock that dream step now, but the first step hasn't even been done. And it will never make sense, that dream step. If I would go back 2 years ago and tell myself you're gonna be loving teaching about business and helping women start their passions and find out what that is, I would think, no, I wanna be teaching more about relationships. It wouldn't have made sense to me. So your dream step will be unlocked through your next step. And let's see, maybe you have an excuse or a limiting belief. Well, I'm not married. How could I teach about relationships? Okay, are you dating? If you are dating, you have a whole pool and wealth of information about what the dating world looks like today that most people need help with, need guidance. They just need you to share your experience. And I think a lot of us think, well, everyone knows this. No, not everyone knows this. We think everyone knows this because that's our current perspective. There are people 1 to 5 years behind you that need things that are common sense to you now. I think it's so funny. A while ago, I told one of my family members, I'm doing research tonight. And they were like, oh, okay, so you have a date night. I was like, yes. Because I started seeing even my own romantic life as research. I'm gathering research for my business. Because all of my experience is what I pull from and teach from. So your experience, use it to something that aligns with your passion. Maybe you feel, I'm not comfortable on camera. Okay, you're not comfortable now, but your future self will be. She will only be comfortable because you, right now, you, not tomorrow, you, right now, you, is deciding, I'm just gonna do it, it's scary. I saw this TikTok video that will be very helpful, and they said, if you feel that you just can't talk comfortably on camera, set up your camera for 60 seconds and just start speaking to it. It's going to feel uncomfortable and you might not know anything to say, but that's how you're going to train your nervous system that this is okay to do. So what I want you to do this week, if specifically you feel scared to show up, to be seen, or to talk on camera, record yourself for 60 seconds, talking about whatever. You can talk about what you're wearing, how you're feeling, what you're going through, but just get comfortable, because that's going to break a barrier and say, oh, that actually wasn't so bad. I always talk about how when I first started on YouTube, my voice would always shake in the beginning. I was so nervous. And it was just something about seeing the camera there, because previously I had only live streamed on TikTok. It was my phone, it was so easy, but my voice would shake. And I remember someone commented, they were like, why is her voice shaking in the beginning? It was like, you know what? If this isn't peak embarrassment, I don't know what is, but I'm still alive. Even after that comment, that's kind of how I talk to myself to do inner work. Is I think, did that kill me? No. Okay, nervous system, why are you ringing off alarm bells? People are allowed to comment and see that, and that's okay. So start, and I promise you will just get better and better and better. I was telling my business students that, because a lot of them, they're scared for trembling or stuttering, and I say, just go back and watch my old videos and you'll give yourself permission to feel okay. Okay. Let's see. And again, self-trust. Self-trust is so essential here, which is honoring your self-boundaries. Treat your YouTube channel that you want to start as a business. You don't have to start on YouTube this week, but maybe you use that time to research camera equipment or start practicing your makeup or help me train Gus to not bite me anymore. What's up, bud? He just wants some attention. Okay. Yes. And what else did I want to say here? Are you sleepy, bud? Okay. Yes, so again, just remember actors, how beautiful it is when they're so in that role that they become that role. That's how you are going to be for the dream role that you want to have. And this is number 4. This one is super, super quick. We're going to kind of wrap up here and then I'll hop in the chat. So, by the way, if you didn't know, I launched a podcast about 7 weeks ago, and the podcast is called The Fruitful Feminine. I'm so excited and so thankful, ladies, for all of your support and your comments and your rating the show. Thank you, thank you. It's just been so fun and such a nice change because I'm always on screen, but now it's just my voice that's being captured, and it's about another part of my life that is so close to me, my faith in Christ and how the Bible connects feminine energy. So all of that is why I created the podcast. And wait, why did I even bring that up? Oh yeah, on this week's episode, I said something that I thought, okay, I definitely have to say this on YouTube. I told the listeners, I said, don't think, just do. And I said, but please don't just cut that part out and listen to that. This next part is equally important. Don't think, just do. We were talking about spiritual warfare and why we struggle so much when it comes to pursuing our purpose. And I told them that something I have to work with my business students on a lot is getting them out of their head when they're about to start their craft. So for example, I tell them, when you are going to sit down and film a YouTube video, I need you to hit record as soon as you sit down in the chair. Not, okay, let me check the lighting and let me do my deep breaths, let me review what I'm gonna say. Your body knows what you're gonna say. You will be okay. I need you to sit down, hit record, and do. Just go. I'm very careful to say this, and this only applies for this topic specifically. Don't think, just do. Don't do this for relationships. Don't think, just do takes you from being in the head, being stuck in the mental, being stuck in the thoughts, because really you're just spiraling into the future. What if, what if, what if? That doesn't even exist. And then your body starts physically reacting as if it's existing. So I need you to cut that out. I need you to cut out anywhere where you are creating room for you to swim in your thoughts. And I need you to just get back to your body. So what would that look like? Hitting record immediately, waking up and getting dressed and doing your makeup if that feels good, without thinking, am I going to film today? For me, today's Friday, and I'm so good about honoring my self-boundaries now that, of course it's Friday, I'm filming today. Sometimes it's Thursday, that's my content day. But these 2 days for me are saved for content. I don't wake up, am I gonna show up for the community this week? It's not even a question for me. I've decided already in advance I am. That's how you're going to treat your passion and your creation. And you're going to eliminate so many blocks in the process, because a lot of the blocks are just in here, but they show up here. So don't think, just do. Yes, this live is going to be saved. Okay, bonus ones. Then we'll check into the chat. Bonus is let perfectionism go. Let it go. It's going to set you so free, and it's probably causing a majority of your creative blocks. So I'm trying to think which video I talk about perfectionism, because I talk about it a lot. I don't want to keep repeating what I've already taught here. The best video on perfectionism, let me find it for you. I know what it is actually. If you type awwlexis good girl mask, watch those YouTube videos. That's going to help you break out of the perfectionism. Or if you just type awwlexis perfectionism on YouTube, watch those inner work trainings, and then here's what I'm gonna give you as some quick tips. Things that helped me, because I'm very type A, oldest daughter, raised as a perfectionist. what has helped me break out of that is writing with a pen. These things sound simple, but sometimes in our work, it's very, very practical, and we overlook it and don't do it because we think, oh, that's too easy, that couldn't work. This type of stuff changed my life. So writing with a pen so that you can cross stuff out. For example, I was gonna talk about physical and mental blocks, but I thought, no, we're just gonna talk about mental in this video. Otherwise, this would be a 2-hour long live stream. So practice writing things out with a pen, and that will free you up to make mistakes and cross it out. And you'll see the cross out, and it will train your brain to go, it's okay to make mistakes. And my whole paper doesn't have to look neat. I get to have scribble all over it. A couple years ago, this would send me into panic, and I would rewrite everything that I wrote on a clean piece of paper because I just couldn't see the mess up. But now when I face the mess up, it reminds me I am allowed to be imperfect because I am human. And that is such a beautiful part of life. Number 2, putting stickers on things. My sister was so good about doing this growing up. We would get water bottles, and I don't know why, it was like the thing for every year when we would start school again, we would get a new backpack and a new water bottle, and it was just the highlight of the year. Okay, so anyways, we would get a new water bottle, and I would always keep my water like perfectly clean. Stickers can't really go on this material, but I would have like a hydro flask material, for example, and my sister was so good about putting all these cute stickers on, and everyone at school would put stickers on, but I just couldn't do it. I would need my water bottle to be clean. And so what I started doing is these things that made me uncomfortable, I just started doing them. So my binder, my coaching binder, I was reminded because I had a coaching session early this morning, and I just looked at the sticker that I put on and I thought, that's so cute. I put this on like 2 years ago when I was doing this inner work. The sticker says, "You got this, babe." And I think, yeah, I don't really know if that's my style anymore to say that, but it was my style a couple years ago, and I'm going to leave the sticker on there with my vision board behind it because that just feels good for me, and it's playful, and I don't have to make it perfectly aligned for this part of my life. So things that can make you feel like you have messed up intentionally or made things messy and chaotic, but in a very artistic, beautiful way, that will help you to break out of the perfectionism. This one is hilarious. Yesterday when I was reviewing what my video editor finished for the Rome vlog, at the end, there was a part where I was getting this tiramisu, and this tiramisu, I was so excited about it. It was vegan, and you guys know I don't eat dairy, so it was my first time having a tiramisu in years. And so I'm showing this on the vlog, and I'm just eating at this cafe and talking to the camera. And then for like the last 10 minutes of this scene, there's chocolate all over my face, but I didn't even realize there's chocolate here, above my mouth, like literally everywhere. I'm like, how did this happen from a simple little tiramisu? I was enjoying my time. Anyways, in that moment, I felt a bit of cringe energy that, my video editor saw this. Then I thought, why is that cringy? Why is that embarrassing? It's only embarrassing if I decide it's embarrassing. It's such like an overused emotion to be cringed out and embarrassed, and I'm not here for that. It doesn't feel good. And the embarrassment only existed here. My video editor probably saw that. She didn't even edit it out or tell me. She just goes, oh, she probably enjoyed that really good. And so these times where we are cringing or being embarrassed with ourselves, let it go. You have to learn to turn embarrassment into peace and into acceptance of I'm just human. This is some of the best, most freeing inner work that you could ever do, is learn to change embarrassment. It used to take me like a week, and then it turned into a couple days to stop feeling embarrassed about something. Now it takes me a couple minutes. I was looking at it and I was like, oh well, but I probably will be cutting that part out. But it's okay that my video editor saw it. Being seen by someone that sees your imperfections is going to heal you. I think that's why God really wanted me to release control and get a video editor, because I would always say I like creating my videos because I like putting my own tone and touch and expression into it. The music, the scenes, the transitions. Always growing up, I've loved creating videos. and graphic design, things like that. And so giving up that control to let someone else do that, I would always use the excuse, but I'm not giving my full artistic expression. But now I'm seeing I actually just had a fear of being seen. Because when I stutter in a clip, or I mess up, or there's chocolate on my face, someone else sees that besides me. And it's a very vulnerable position. But it's the best inner work, because now I'm like, whatever. And it allows me to show up and be seen in other areas. This is why relationships are so healing and so beautiful when it's a healthy relationship. Because your partner sees you and they give you that acceptance and they hold you and say, yeah, I still love this. I still love you. I think a lot of us wait until we're perfectly healed to be in a relationship, not knowing that there's so much healing that actually will take place in the relationship. And another quick example of this is I was listening to a podcast. It's called 10-Minute Bible Talks, and it's so good. And I always listen to it when I do my gua sha routine. And there was a part the other day where the guy that was speaking, he had repeated the sentence. And it freed something in me, because my first thought was, oh, I'm not the only one who has made a mistake like that in a YouTube video or a podcast. Or, oh, this is so great. Now I know I'm not alone. There's been times where I've accidentally uploaded parts where I forgot to edit something and I repeat it, or I like look back down at my notes and then start talking. And of course I meant to edit that, but when I see comments like, oh, Alexis, you forgot to edit this, but it's so cute anyways, and honestly, I do feel like a burn of embarrassment, but then I feel, oh well, maybe it just freed someone else. Because when this podcast host messed up, I felt freedom. Not once did I judge him. And if you judge other people for doing that, you probably feel people judge you. And I was always so curious, why do people feel like they're always judged by others? Well, we always think other people are living the way that we are living. So when you no longer judge others, you don't feel judged by them. Just remember, people have too much time on their hands to also take on the career of being a judge for you. That's a lot of time and energy that people don't have. But our brain will give us that perception so that it stops us from our full potential. Our full potential is scary. It can mean a change in relationships. It can mean a change in career, the unknown. Fear of success is a huge thing. And so hopefully this inner work has helped you to free yourself from those creative blocks and create what you are meant to do. I'm going to review them real quick and then I'll take some questions. The first inner work was to begin treating your passion or your business as a business. Number 2 was, if you're secretly burnt out, learn how to re-regulate that dial and soothe your nervous system. Number 3 was, if you're trying to perform, not create, it will block you. Get off the stage for other people. It's just you. It's just your movie. And fully become that character. No performing for cameras or for other people. We think someone else sometimes is the director, and actually no, we think other people are casting directors that are sitting there going, yes, you're right for the job, or no, you're wrong for the job. But the truth is, we are the casting director. We are the one that is evaluating ourselves and deciding, are you going to give me permission to show up fully in this moment? Are you going to hire me for the job that our soul is craving to do? Number 4, don't think, just do. And remember, that does not apply to relationships. Only this inner work. And then let the perfectionism go. That was a bonus. Okay. Any questions or just anything that you want to share, go ahead and put it in the chat. Yes. Tam Kaur talks about self-obsession, has great videos on inner work. I love that girl. And during COVID, I saw her TikTok account. Her and I are friends on TikTok. And I saw her account when she had maybe like 8,000, 9,000 followers. And I thought to myself, this girl is going to be huge. She's so confident. She's so full of life. She's so just authentic and unique. And to see her grow, she has, I think, almost 2 million subscribers on YouTube now. It's just been so amazing, and I think she's wonderful. I'm always busy but end up on social media all day scrolling. Where can I start to stop this and actually get things done? It's hurting my business. Simrat, totally right there with you. This happened when I had too much on my plate. So it sounds to me like that dial that we talked about has slowed down and now you're in the freeze mode. And the thing is, when you have gotten into the freeze mode, what's even more dangerous is sometimes we move to functioning freeze, where we can still get stuff done, but our body is frozen. That's when it will feel so difficult to do things. What I need you to do is create boundaries around when you use social media. So for example, for me, no scrolling till my first work block is done. However, I still give myself permission to scroll, but I put a container around it. I put an energetic boundary around it. If you restrict too much, your body will feel it's too hard to, even honor that boundary, or it will feel like you know how if you overeat too much, it's usually because there's been a restriction. You have not like you've starved your body out of the things that it's telling you that it desires. And so with scrolling, if you say, okay, I'm not gonna scroll at all for the whole week, that's not realistic and it will probably lead to a huge doom scrolling episode. And so what I would say is create healthy boundaries around it. And also I would ask, I feel there could be something going on where you know that you need to do something, you haven't done it, and it's causing your brain to be stressed. Can you get clear on what that is, that your body is telling you we need to do this? My mom sent me this TikTok video and I thought it was excellent. It was this woman talking about, I still want to give her credit. Let me see if I can find the video real quick. Yes, okay. The video is called Brain Dumping 101. If you search this on TikTok, you'll find it. And the creator's name is by Mila Holmes. So BYMILAHOLMES. She has this video called Brain Dumping 101. Simran, I want you to take a look at this video especially. She talks about how in order to get out of that stuck mode, what she does is she takes out her journal and all those thoughts that are swimming around, like the open tabs, she gets those out on a piece of paper. She writes down, okay, I need to book my flight. Okay, I've got to do laundry. I know that I need to call that person back. I know that I need to clean out my freezer. All these things, dump them out. And then she has a very specific process for crossing out the ones that are least essential to leave you with the ones that your brain really wants you to do. And then giving yourself a work block is what I like to call it, of an hour or 2 hours to get all those things done. Imagine that there's a really tight helmet on your brain telling you, I have all these things that I need to do. And then you go and do this brain dumping activity, you write it all out, you spend 2 hours doing it. You might really want to scroll during those 2 hours, but actually your body wants to be doing this instead. Be disciplined, force yourself to do it, don't follow your mood, brain dump. It will be like that tight helmet releasing pressure, being lifted off your head. And you'll feel like, whew, I feel so good, so light. This is why I do work blocks, because I'm not the type of person to just get things done when I'm gonna get them done. I really need a 2-hour timer that says, you are sitting in this chair, Alexis, until the timer goes off. If I just think, okay, I'm gonna work from 10 to 4 today, I know I'm gonna sit there till 1 p.m. So I need timers, I need discipline, and I think this can really help you too. I still have the dog Santa costume pulled up. I was like, what is this tab? Let me close out of all these tabs, speaking of. Why do I always have a feeling of haste? Exactly what we talked about. Your dial is set to 2x speed. Such a good question. Good morning, Marciel. Yep, I want to do journaling, but I always procrastinate. Writing in my agenda really helps. And I tell the girls, every single course that I have, there's inner work with each video training, and most of that inner work is journaling or it's activities for the business programs. So for Master Your Feminine Energy, for example, a lot of the inner work is journaling, because you have to be able to see the fears, see the limiting beliefs, see the blocks, write them out on paper. It's very, very intentional why I have the girls do this. And a lot of them tell me, I've done the course twice. The first time I only watched the videos. The second time I did the videos and the inner work, homework. That's changing my life now. So those journal prompts, that's what's actually going to free you. So what if you knew that your body is actually scared to see what it would write out? And that's where the resistance comes from. Schedule in your agenda, I'm going to take tonight at 6 p.m., I'm going to journal. Or what I like to do also is for things that I really struggle with, like sometimes at night I don't want to go for a walk. I would just rather lay on the couch, lay in my bed, read my book. I have to force myself to make it as easy as possible to go on the walk. So when I'm eating dinner, I will wear the clothes that I'm gonna go out on the walk with. I will pull my tennis shoes out. I will fill up my water so that when I'm done eating my dinner, I stand up, grab my water, grab my shoes, and I go. Even the small things, like if I had to change my outfit or if I had to put my hair up, I would feel, but there's gonna be so many steps required to go on this walk. I've eliminated those steps and it eliminates the resistance. So how could you make journaling easy? Could you pull your journal out? Could you go and put it next to you? Could you get a pen that makes it so much easier and so much cuter to write? Make it as fun and as easy possible and reduce the resistance that your brain has to do. It's already a lot of mental work to decide, okay, I'm gonna journal and do this inner work. Anything else that makes it more difficult, you have to eliminate. Ooh, this is such a good question, Jensen. For creativity and content creation, do you think using AI or ChatGPT makes our creativity blocked? Yes and no. I listened to a podcast episode, I think it was by Mel Robbins, about AI and creativity, and it was wonderful what she shared, how overuse of AI can dull our ability to create, and I absolutely agree with that. What Annie and I do, so for the business, Annie and I have the same beliefs about AI, which is we like it, but it's a little bit scary, but also let's use it where it can help make us more efficient. And so in the business, for example, there's automations and functions that she sets up using AI. And when it comes to the creative side of the business, such as filming the YouTube videos or for my project that I'm working on, getting ideas and inspiration for that, I do not use AI because for me, that feels it's not me, it's not my voice. And I also don't want to dull my ability to go within. I noticed I had to catch myself when I had a lot of questions about, let me think of an actual example. Okay, let's just use YouTube for example. There's times where I think, what do I put for the title of this video? I'm really blocked here. There's times where I thought, maybe I'll go to ChatGPT, and I have done this once. And afterwards, I noticed that I didn't feel great. I kind of thought, am I gonna not be able to come up with my own titles in the future? Is this going to start to be what I rely on? And so I've created a boundary that when it comes to things that I create, I'm not going to source it from AI. I might go to AI to either clean it up or to either reformat it and give me other ideas that are similar. I do like that things like ChatGPT, they do account for your voice and your tone and your authentic expression, and it kind of adds your own flavor to what it gives you and what it generates. However, I will say that I'm very, very firm about I don't go to AI for initial creativity. I create and then I may go to it to fix things up. I rarely use it. What I use ChatGPT for, I don't even have the upgraded membership. I still have the free one because I don't use it that much. I will use it for bringing Gus to the US. There's a lot of different requirements for shots and health certificates, and I might ask it, please give me a breakdown of all the steps that I need to be able to bring my dog with me to the US and have him fly in the plane with me. I used it, for example, when I had a 7-hour layover in London one time, and I really, really wanted to go out and explore the city. And I asked ChatGPT, if I have 5 hours in this city before I need to be back at the airport, And I love cozy bakeries. I love the movie Notting Hill. I love really unique architecture. And I love the slow, soft life. I'm very girly and I love the chic style. What would you recommend that I do during this 5-hour layover in London? Still accounting for the main tourist attractions, but also pointing me to sites to see that align with my style. And can you give it to me in the direction that will take me furthest first and then bring me closest back to the airport? And it was wonderful. It made a whole guide for me. I used it, spent 5 hours just exploring London, and it was one of the best days of my life. So there are times when AI is wonderful, and I just make sure that I am careful not to make that my life force, not to make that give me inspiration. I need my inspiration to come from here, to come from God. And even things like with the Bible, I'm very careful asking questions about the Bible because I don't want to rely on ChatGPT. I want to go to God, and I don't want to make the voice of God so quiet that I can't hear it, or I'm too impatient to hear it, that I go and get an answer. I do think it's scary that we are getting to the point where we might ask it like, can you interpret this dream for me? Or can you tell me when I'm going to meet my husband? But God never designed us to get answers. He even tells us, don't consult with psychics. Don't try to get these answers outside of me, because I'm putting you in a process to go through experiences that are going to shape you, to understand when you have this that you're asking for, this is why it's come in the timing and in the form that I'm giving it to you. So I'm very careful. I don't want to break that experience that gives me the grit to be able to understand, hear God, and also create. Okay, let's see. I cannot believe the time. I have not even had breakfast yet. It's 1:11 p.m. for me, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up soon. Yes. What does your day look like, your daily routines? Well, okay, I'll tell you what today looked like, which is a bit different from Monday through Thursday. So today, I woke up and at 9 a.m. I had a coaching client call, and then at about 11, I sat down and I started journaling. What do I want to talk about on YouTube today? God, can you please give me the message? What should I share about? And that's pretty much been my routine work-wise. But what I do when I first get up is I get up, take Gus outside, I read the Bible, I journal, I go and wash my face, I get dressed, do my makeup if I'm wearing makeup that day. And that's kind of the foundation for my morning. So today was a bit of a strange day for me because I don't usually have coaching calls Friday or this early. However, this woman, our time zones were really, really different, and I really wanted to meet with her. So I made a few adjustments in my schedule for her. Monday through Thursday, what I usually do is I wake up, I will either go on a walk or go to the gym after doing my morning routine. Then I get back here. It's usually 10:30 a.m. by the time I get back. And that is when I get ready, 10 a.m. to noon, getting ready, cooking breakfast. And then from noon to about 6:30, I will work. And what I do is I have work blocks. So not 12 to 6:30 I'm working. It's usually like 12 to about 2. And then from 2 to 4, I will rest or go and run an errand, something like that. And then maybe 4 to 6 or 6:30 I will work. And then at night, usually if I'm not cooking dinner, I will either go out to dinner or I will just cook here, go on a walk at night. And lately, since it's fall time, our Glow Girls book club is back. And so I always read my fantasy romance novel before bed. And we're reading Sisters of Song and Sword, I think. If you want to join book club, you're at the perfect time because we just started a new series. So thefeminineglow.com on the homepage is where you can join. So that's pretty much what my daily routine looks like. But I do feel it's always changing. Even when I travel, it gets thrown off. I'm going to travel to a new country I've never been to this weekend. So my schedule is going to be a bit off again. But one of my friends is coming to the Middle East for the first time. One of my best friends in the world. And so where she's going, it's only 2 hours from Dubai. And I said, girl, I'll come meet you, of course. So weekend schedule, I don't really have a schedule on the weekend because it literally always changes. Okay, speaking of my routine, I'm gonna go and make some breakfast, or I should say lunch now. Thank you ladies so much for being here and all of your amazing questions and your energy. I'm just so grateful that you clicked on this video and that you want to be here and that you're a part of this community. I'm so honored to have you, and I love you so much, and I'm praying for you and just wishing you the best in your inner work journey. And if you are feeling like you are stuck in that survival mode, point number 2 that we're talking about, I have videos called How to Get Out of Survival Mode. I would recommend going and watching those ones next, because your life changes when your nervous system is rested and healed. Your voice changes, your style changes, everything. So I just want you to feel good in your body and to turn that feminine energy back to life. I love you so much, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.